Hey, I'm Tony Roach. One of my favorite cold water techniques is throwing jerk baits. It's such a deadly multi-species tool. Catch all sorts of fish, you know, whether you're chasing walleyes or pike, smallmouth bass. You can cover ground and have a lot of fun doing it. Today we're fishing with the Shadow Wrap. The Shadow Wrap, it's a deep diving Shadow Wrap. It's one of my favorite jerk baits to throw all season long, but especially in cold water, long pauses, you're gonna catch a ton of fish. There we go, not a bad fish. You know, the Shadow Wrap itself, the thing that I love about the Shadow Wrap versus any other jerk bait out there is the fact that when you slash it and then put it on a slack line, this thing throws sideways and sits in the water column. This is actually a slow sinking crankbait, but it falls really, really slow. So it'll suspend in the water column, but it really slashes sideways. I almost always exclusively throw these jerk baits on a spinning reel. I think I can get much better action than even a bait caster. There we go. Another one on the pause. You know, that's the thing. With jerk baits, it's all about the pause, you know, adding those pauses in there, that's when you're gonna get your strikes. Oh, that's a good fish. Nice. Look at that, just T-bone that bait. Nice looking fish. I love it when they crack those jerk baits. There we go. There she goes. Just like that. And that's the thing, when I'm throwing these jerk baits, again, it's braided line, fluorocarbon leader, there's no stretch. So when you pop that thing, you know, you feel every little tick of that bait. And you know, as you're working it back to the boat and ripping it down, I can't stress enough adding those pauses in there. Just followed it, followed it, followed it. They are so notorious for following that jerk bait. Oh yeah, another good fish. Oh, that's so much fun. I love the way they stop those Shadow Wraps. It just, there's no denying it's a fish. They just crack that bait. All right. Once again, smacked it pretty good. Good looking fish. All right, there we go. And what I did there is I'm working down a break line. You know, it's pretty sharp. So I'll rip that bait to try to get it out off that edge. But as soon as I start dropping off that edge, because this Shadow Wrap is slow sinking, longer pauses. That way that bait has a time to fall a little bit in the water column and get down a little more in their strike zone. Especially when it's cold like this. You know, we got surface temps around 50 degrees now. And they really want the pause, but they want that bait a little more in their face. They're not willing to come up in the water column to strike it as much. When I'm fishing these Shadow Wraps, I like to use a medium rod with an extra fast tip. This one's a St. Croix, like I said, medium power, but extra fast action. See how that thing loads up right here? By the third or fourth guide, you've got backbone. That's really important, you know. When you're slashing these baits sideways, I want to make sure I have a good hook set if those fish hit it. It's going out to sea. Oh, another fish that just T-boned it. On the pause, man. And that's the thing, is when you're working these baits back to the boat, not only am I throwing it on a pause, but like I said, I'm bringing that rod tip forward, so I'm actually fishing it on a slack line. And that's really why I like that braid fluorocarbon mix, is just because I can feel everything on it. Even on that slack line, you can feel that line tighten up and boom, fish on, instantly hook up. So it really is a whole system with that St. Croix medium action rod, medium powered rod, extra fast action tip, working those back, and of course, long pauses, and fishing that on the slack line. That's fishing jerk baits right there in a nutshell. Look at that, just T-bone sideways. That means they're coming up and they want that bait. And usually when it's T-bone like that, you know it's slashing sideways and boom, those fish are hitting it. So much fun. Get this girl back in. Nope. That was graceful. There we go. Oh, that's a beauty too. Nice looking fish. What I love about the Shadow Wraps is they come in a lot of great colors. You know, if a Rapala makes it, you know they're gonna have a color to match the hatch regardless of where you're fishing. You know, today I'm fishing that yellow perch color just because a lot of these young of the year perch are starting to slide in the shallows. Let me grab this net. And of course that's what they're feeding on. But there's other situations where it's really stained water and you need some great UV colors. Rapala's got you covered. Oh, come here, girl. That's a good fish. Just T-boned. That's what you like to see. Multiple hooks in their mouth. Then you know they're really on the feed bag on these baits. Look at that. Just T-bone that thing. Right in the weeds. Look at that. Even got vegetation on there. You know where they're living. You know where they're eating. Now you know exactly what to throw the shadow rap. Try them. You're going to catch a ton of walleyes and have a ton of fun doing it. Hey, I'm Tony Roach. Stay tuned for more Midwest Outdoors.